What's up, Internet? It's me, O'Neal Johnson, aka Dad of War. With me, as always, is my good friend, Quiet Boy Girl. How you doing this week?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Probably the best week I've had in a while.
Nice. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, we're here, as always, to just talk about video games and shit. And we're going to start off with, as always, what have you been playing this week? Qui, you been playing anything new or updates on
So,
Near
I
Replicant
actually, I,
97 billion?
I'm saving that for last. I haven't really played it. I haven't played anything on my Switch or my Xbox, like recently. So, nothing really there. I've been still doing Binding of Isaac. I'm slowly like getting through the stuff. I do about like one, basically just one like complete run a day. Uh, I Yesterday, I did the corpse with Eden. The day before that, I did completed the corpse of the lost. The day before that, I did it with the forgotten Lilith and Apollyon and the Keeper. Uh, I was doing some Eve runs today to get that, but I kept dying.
I have no idea what any of that
So,
means, but I assume that's just different
yeah,
items and builds and whatnot.
yeah, completing the corpse is one of the new bosses so like you beat it, you get an unlock. So I've just been slowly going through that.
Okay.
I played some Synthetic Ultimate, which is top-down third-person shooter roguelike.
Okay.
I defeated like my first run, got an artifact, defeated Experiment 57. And once again, you probably don't know what that means, but neither do I. So,
Well, at least we're on the same page.
but yeah, haven't done that much in the synthetic. I've been sitting on it for a while.
Okay.
I'm considering re-downloading Wasteland 3 because there's gonna be a DLC soon, I think, and then the next update for it will let you collect every pet in the game. So I'm looking forward to that. Just having an army of animals.
Very well, very well. Well, what about Near
That's
Replicant?
no, I'm not. I'm almost there.
Almost. Okay. Very well.
Obviously, I've been playing some Smite. I've done some Call of Duty, got into the first Prestige,
Well, it's about
and it's
time.
like Prestige is different than like any other Call of Duty in that game. I just assumed I'd have to like reset everything. It's just I have everything unlocked. It's literally meaningless now.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I'm right there with you. But
So
whatevers.
there's that. Like, and they give for prestiging. I got a prestige key, but there's nothing to like use it on
Nope, because you can't unlock
because
anything
usually,
till Prestige Master.
yeah, because usually when you get like a prestige key, because or prestige token, when you reset everything, you use it to get an extra class or unlock a gun that takes a while to get.
Yeah.
But
Not here. It
none
looks
of
really
that.
weird. I don't like it either. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Uh, but yeah, so I've only played 5 hours into Nier Replicant. I'm really pacing it out because when like I love Nier Automata, but I played so much of it at once, I haven't actually felt like going through it a third time because I did go through it a second time.
Okay.
But I'm trying to really pace myself. So like when I play it, it's more like a reward and I enjoy it and instead of like getting burnt out.
It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. How are you enjoying it so far? Is it good? Is it everything you wanted it to be?
The combat carries over quite a bit, which doesn't surprise me. I haven't hit any moment where it's like, yeah, this feels its age. It feels like a remake. It feels like a new game. It feels well, I don't know. To me, it feels like a new game and it feels smooth and it doesn't feel like an old game, but I didn't play the original Nier. So someone who did play it could probably be able to tell like, yeah, this still feels older. I'm really liking the characters so far. There's a lot of side quests to do, but it's not like yeah, I guess some of the side quests feel their age because of obviously like
Just
they're
the nature
fetchy.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't. They it's literally just a remaster, so it's still a testament to its age in that sense, just for the sheer fact it's from what two
I
thousand
did buy a
something.
sword that I like the story for, and in near if you upgrade the weapon you get more of the story. I'm at level 1. It said the sword was used by a woman so beautiful men begged her to kill them with it. So I can't wait to see upgrade it to see the story continue with that sword.
Very well, very well.
But
Interesting
yeah,
enough.
the combat's like great. I think I actually might enjoy the combat a little bit more than Nier Automata at the moment. But maybe that's just because uh I was I was like shit at Nier Automata and then I got good, but I'm already pretty good at this, so maybe that's like affecting my opinion.
Maybe, maybe it's also from what you say. It's been a while since you played Automata, so maybe after you beat this, and you can go back and make a better comparison. Very well. Well,
Yeah, I haven't really played that much besides that. I haven't really touched any of the games I was playing last week. I still need to finish Disco Elysium, Coffee Talk, Haven for a while. I still need to finish. Re-download Cyberpunk.
but you
Uh,
beat Cyberpunk, didn't you?
I did beat it, but I wanted to like do a new. I want to make like a new character
Okay.
and just like
See what's
try
actually been
like some
changed.
new builds and stuff and see what's new.
Okay. I'll eventually
Uh,
pop that back in.
I also re-downloaded Genshin Impact, and which is funny. Before I brought this up before it started, because I was just looking at stories I could just throw out there, like little mini stories. But apparently, the Genshin Impact studio founders were targeted in a failed assassin plot, which I think is the craziest fucking thing ever. Apparently, like someone snuck into the office with a knife.
With a knife.
Yeah.
Wow. Like,
I don't.
who thinks of some crazy shit like that? Like, for real. And why? I don't really care for the game, but I'm not gonna go kill them because they made
Okay,
it. Like, that's fucking crazy.
so here, while in custody, his motives were revealed. The most recent update to Hanukkah Impact Third added bunny suit costumes for several characters. However, those cosmetics were never released in China, and apparently, this person was really upset that he couldn't get his bunny costumes for his waifus.
This is a fake article, right? Like,
No,
oh my god. That's crazy.
I mean, it, you know,
Oh my
I'm
god.
reading it off a Screen Rant, which usually their game news isn't like fake, but their articles like top 10 lists are usually written by people who have no idea what they're talking about. Because it would be like top 10 characters who can defeat Naruto, and then it's that fucking fat guy from fucking Naruto that just gets his ability is to get fatter or whatever, like Choji or what his fucking name is.
No, Choji can turn his fat into chakra and he becomes skinny and it's real powerful, but regardless.
It was like, yeah, he can beat Naruto, who fucking whooped like fucking gods at that point or whatever the fuck. Yeah, because it's not like Kid Naruto. It's like fucking end of Shippuden Naruto.
Ridiculous. But either way, doubling back to that story, that is absurd.
But
Over a skin.
they released an official statement on Twitter, so the actual thing. So it was probably I'll trust Screen Rant on this one.
That is by far the craziest thing I've ever heard someone, for the most part, get assassinated for. Like in the video game industry, that's like unheard of. You don't hear about people getting. You hear of death threats for sure. Like the developers over at Naughty Dog got death threats over. Spoiler alert. Go away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for Joel being killed. they got death threats, but like no one showed up at their office with actual weapons to try to kill them. You know, it's internet pussy talk.
It's
For
not
someone to
showing up to the
actually
office.
come
He got in the office.
with the knife, that's
Yeah,
crazy. Over skins. It's not even his favorite character died, or they completely lied about how the game is, or you
he
know,
couldn't get his bunny costume.
just wow, just absolutely wow, ridiculous. That is. I hope he goes to prison for a long time for just straight stupidity, let alone the fact that he
I
attempted to kill people.
I mean the police got him. I don't know if he'll be in jail for life or anything. I don't know how like China, the laws in China work.
That's ridiculous, man.
Absolutely ridiculous.
You
No
can
one got
you
hurt
can't
though,
not
so I
laugh at
feel
it
it's
either.
okay to make jokes.
Just wow, just wow. Ooh, boy.
Like if someone actually got hurt, it'd be a little bit less funny, but the entire situation, someone like just being that upset over not getting bunny costumes.
What can I say? The world's getting
I am glad no
more and
one
more
got hurt, and I
ridiculous.
hope everyone's like not like too shook up from the incident
Yeah,
because that is like horrible.
yeah.
But thankfully, no one did get hurt, and there's like a happy ending at least.
Those devs are gonna sit back and laugh about this one day. But as you said, hopefully, no one's too, no one has too much of trauma from this. There's no,
Yeah,
like it is still, in all respects, it is a traumatic incident. Someone tried to break, no, not tried. Someone broke into their office and tried to kill somebody. That's crazy. So as you also said, I'm glad everyone's safe, and I don't know if he needs to go to prison for life, but he needs to go to prison for a while for just dumb being that crazy. Like bunny
yeah.
costumes,
Well,
bunny costumes.
he'll be
Wow.
getting no costumes now.
He'll be getting no costumes,
They
no
should
new
also ban
people.
it, just like ban his account, so if he does get out,
Drop all charges, ban his account, ban his IP, not just his account, his whole IP address. Oh god. Anyway, moving on from that absurdity, I've been playing the same shit. And actually, I've been playing less because, as I documented last week, I am still waiting on my new controller to come in. They literally have until tomorrow to give me the email, or I'm going to email and complain because they said give them 2 to 10 business days. So I was thinking, 7, 8, an actual week. Well, I looked at my email that I have none so far, and I bought it almost tomorrow will be 10 days ago. So, like 10 business days ago. So I very much like my controller, please, especially for the fact Returnal comes out this Friday. I'm very much excited for it, and I cannot play it with my controller right now, and
speaking
that's
of
very
like
annoying.
games coming out soon, I think the Mass Effect Legendary Collection is in like I think 19 or 18, 19 days now, and Village is here soon as well.
Nice. Not really my cups of tea.
I can't
Well,
wait to be stepped on by an 8 foot tall vampire mommy.
yeah, I'm not my cup of tea, and I'm still debating on whether or not I want to jump back into the Mass Effect universe. Loved to admittedly loved 3 too. Never played one because I didn't own an Xbox. And then when they did the whole remaster trilogy on PS3, 4, whatever it was, I just wasn't in the mood for it. So,
I'm gonna buy it. Like I know I shouldn't. I still have all the other Mass Effect games. If I really wanted to, I just play it off that. But
true.
I want to support BioWare X because I'm still holding out hope for like Dragon Age 4. So,
I'm hoping that for Dragon Age 4, I'm hoping that Mass Effect 4 is a proper Mass Effect 4 and
though
it's
I will
good.
say, I wish instead of spending all this time to like get the Legendary Collection out there and good, I wish they spent the time to make Andromeda worthy to be in that collection in the first place instead.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? But I'm pretty sure Andromeda's just going to stay in the corner, locked and chained in the dark basement. No one talks about it.
Maybe someday they'll like touch back to it because I think it had enough there. It could have been good.
And I think they leave it to die and just move on to the next Mass Effect. take their lumps, which they have, made it a bit better and playable, let people who enjoy it, and just move on and try to put out a better product all around instead of trying to double back and make that better when they already double backed and made these three games so much better, quote unquote. We'll see. You know, why double back on another game? Just people been waiting.
I have
Fuck
seen
Mass Effect. Give
complaints
us
that
Dragon
I
Age, like
have
you
seen a
said.
little bit complaints that like they don't focus on like ass shots of characters as much, and I think that's a weird thing to be upset about.
It, it's the internet.
I
Someone's
like
always
a
gonna
good
bitch.
ass. Don't get me wrong, but I I'm not playing. That's not the reason I'm playing fucking Mass Effect.
True. True. Well, for a lot of people, it is. They want their ass shots and they're trying to bang aliens, and that's all they play it for. So, I guess those are the people that are complaining. But
I no, don't get me wrong. I'm all for banging aliens. I romanced uh fuck what's her the fucking blue girl in every game. I don't remember her name, but
blue L
every
something.
TR Liara Liara
Liara,
TR something like that.
I think so. It's been a long
Something
time.
like
Maybe I
that.
should
I
play it again.
romanced I romanced her every time. I'm all pro alien boning, but
Not gonna complain about the booties.
I'm like if they're like less focusing on the ass in a way to be like trying to treat characters with a little bit more like respect, I'm all for it.
Fair enough.
Like the characters aren't like ass, they're actual characters.
True. Even game characters are people too. Like legitimately, like there's you gotta expect. Someone does the face and voice acting. They want you to focus on their acting, not the fact that their character model has a fat ass. So
Unless the game's made by Yoko Taro and then send him porn of his character.
big facts. But doubling all the way back to what I've been playing, just it's honestly been a lot of Smite and Outriders. Because Outriders, I don't really have to aim like that. Like the abilities take up most of it, and you don't really have to aim. You just kind of have to be in that general direction for some of it. And two of the moves I use as a pyromancer are literally AOE that just come off my body, so I can be looking literally out into space and still hit everyone who's around me, so it doesn't really matter. And then Smite, I've just not been playing
Oh,
Hunters.
wait, back to Outriders a little bit. You mentioned a little bit last week you're having login troubles, and today you've also had login troubles, so I think it's just put that out there a little bit.
Yeah, I've been following two or three Outrider builder slash news outlets, gaming channels, little 1, 2 guys, and everything people who can fly, people can fly. Oh my god, I can't. Whatever that developer's name is, people can fly, or humans can fly. Oh my god, I'm not gonna get wrapped up in that. I'll be here all night. The developers have been talking really, really good about being fixing shit. So I'm literally hoping that this next big patch fixes this issue because especially for me it's really bad. I got in touch with Kawhi to start the podcast tonight. Excuse me. I was trying to play Outriders while I was waiting for a response, and I started stream, and it was almost 10 minutes of me just trying to log in, and he got back to me saying, hey, if you're available now and it's broken, we can just do it. And I just stopped because I tried logging in 4 times and have sat and looked at the same screen damn near and or restarting it for 10 minutes just to try to log in to pick the character I want to play, which is always the same, but it doesn't matter. It's like, start screen, log in, pick a character, then start playing. Yeah, I was just trying to log the fuck in for 10 minutes. And that happens at least, honestly, about 90% of the time. There have been a handful of times where I clicked it once, 15, 20 seconds goes by, and I'm on the next screen to start playing. And it should be the absolute reverse. That should be happening 90% of the time, and then a few login issues here and there. I get it. You're always online. You're a server-based company. Everyone has server issues every once in a while, but come on. Come on. As I said, this was just this time. I've literally tried for almost 40 minutes to doing that. Just logging in and trying to play. And that 40-minute one, the 40-minute mark hit, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm just going to go play something else. And then GTA, because I just fuck around with my brother, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm just driving, so if the camera spins out of my fucking way. Who cares? I hit something. I pull into my garage. My car's fixed. Or, I don't want to do anything that's PvP. PvE is a lot different. Smite, there is no verticality to it, so it doesn't fuck me up all that much. But I also have been refraining from playing any hunters for real because it does fuck up my aim. And if you're not a Smite player, hunters primarily, they're auto attack focused. Well, if I'm trying to hit you in a straight line and you're
You
walking a
have
certain
you have
way,
played some mages which still do rely on their auto attacks a little bit.
a little bit, but not nearly as much. Like as Baba Yaga, I don't give a fuck about my basics. As Scylla, I don't give a shit about my basics. Yeah, for that final little hit, yeah, it can be annoying. And I've been playing a lot of
Like
Gilgamesh, and it has been
the
getting
last
worse.
game we played together, you were Hera
Yeah,
and I was a beetle.
I missed a few of my polymorph beams because of that. Earlier, last we were talking about last night's stream. Gilgamesh, I've missed a few drop kicks because of it, like because it completely turns around since it can't look up. I guess my controller's just like fuck it, just keep looking to the left. So hopefully this issue is resolved by next week. If not, I'll be having words with the company. I don't want to throw their names under the bus because because I ordered through them before and it came quickly. COVID, new controller, like that was just a PS4. They were been doing PS4 for years at this point. The dual sense is, I assume, a bit more difficult, or I don't know. So I'm giving them benefit of the doubt, and hopefully I hear from them soon. But if I don't hear from them next week, I will throw them under the bus and complain a fucking lot, because I'd very much like to be able to play Call of Duty again, Apex again, like I'm jonesing. Especially, I want to be able to play Returnal properly, because that's going to be a precision third-person roguelike. Like there's no PvP, so I'm not losing anything, but I would like to be able to get better and know it's my skill failing me and not my controller. And Apex Season 9 looks really fucking cool. The new legend looks really dope. They're adding in bows where they literally say in the trailer you have to be super precise, but it will be worth it. Well, can't be super precise when I'm literally fighting my controller to keep my aim centered. So there's lots of things I would like to play, but I've been keeping it very basic with a lot of basic games that don't really need the use of the right stick all that much. And as far as the Switch goes, I played a little bit more of Luigi's Mansion 3 with my wife. We're really close to beating it. Just a fun game we play together on a Saturday afternoon when the kids are napping and we just want to relax and chill. So we've been playing that a little bit more too. And next week I'll be able to tell you about Returnal, hopefully, if I have a controller.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, that's what we've been playing. That's what I've been playing. Nothing really new because shit, not even the same old, because I can't at the moment. It's very fucking annoying on a console that's what I got in November, so we're in month 4, so 6 months. I've owned this thing 6 months, and the controller's already went shit. That's very annoying. Might have to have words with Sony too. I'm pretty sure they're under. Wasn't it a while ago where they were under investigation for the stick drift because they used the same stick people who did the Switch. Anyway, I'm not. It's not a money thing. It's just an annoyance thing. We'll get into that another time because now it is time to talk about the topic of the show. And I did say it last week, and I would like to roll into it just in a little bit more depth. It doesn't have to be super long or anything, but does backwards compatibility matter? And I'll start off with saying, to me personally, no. I don't fucking care for the most part.
Short answer, yes. Long answer, no.
Yeah, for the mass public, I would even still say no. For the masses, not even a little bit. You have no idea the amount of people who fucking just don't fucking care about any old game at all.
I think it's actually a different answer for each console, to be honest.
I would still argue no. Let me rephrase this. For a quote unquote real gamer, yes, it matters quite a bit, and that's why there's so much fervor behind Game Pass, and it is a very good service. I'm not knocking anything down. It is fantastic. I would personally not mind if Sony had something like it, but at the same time, I also own an Xbox and have been given Game Pass by a friend who works for Microsoft for months for free and still don't turn that shit on. But what I mean by the general masses, I'm talking about the most part of the world of gamers is your Madden players, your NBA players, and your Call of Duty players.
You're trying to tell me if you gave like a Madden player the option to play some fucking PS2 Madden games, they wouldn't take it over like this current shit?
Yes. For
I
for a general
I
public, yes, absolutely.
I believe NBA players, sure, they're already too far gone, but Madden players, I think they'd take like fucking the
I would
PS2
reverse
stuff.
that. So many people are actually tired of that. I'd rather go back and play NBA Street over the next 2K. But in a general sense, no. Most people,
The only sport game I'd actually argue is pretty good is MLB The Show. Still like they're actually doing pretty. I think that's the only sport game like it's like well received.
yeah, yeah. But that's my point. It's just I would say honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, maybe not this generation. We're too soon to tell. But I would say maybe at least 50% of the people who bought PS4s slash Xbox One whatevers, S's, X's, One X, I don't, whatever. They got it. That's literally, they just get it to so they can play Madden and Call of Duty. They're the Madden machines, they're the Call of Duty machines. They get it and play nothing else. I actually have quite a few friends in real life who got a new console and or a PS4 just to be able to play the next Call of Duty and or the
You
next
know, I
Madden
wouldn't
and
lump
all
Call of
that.
Duty players in it because as someone who's like in voice chat a lot in Call of Duty, I always hear people complain and how they wish they could just go back and play like BO2 and stuff like that.
They do, but I would still lump them in there because those are the same people are still going to run out and buy the next Call of Duty this year, as they always do. This
But
game's
if you gave
trash.
them the
I will
chance to
never
like
buy it
get
again.
BO2 and like get it on good servers, they'd still like they'd buy it and play it.
Yeah, if they re-released it on current gens, sure, but go look at the numbers on Steam. I would argue Black Ops 2 is playable on the Xbox Series. Is anyone playing it?
Well, that's the thing. If you
Comparatively,
like release it and give it servers and actually pay attention to it, no one will play it now because it's just people cheating. If
yes,
you like,
that's my point. That's my big point. You'd have to do a lot of work to make it basically a modern game, and then are you even really playing Black Ops 2? I mean, obviously you are, but there are still ways to play it right now. And there's ways on a current gen to play. If you have a Series X, you can go back and play Black Ops 2. But people still come back to Cold War because it's the new hotness. And
well,
you
that's what I'm
hear those
saying. It's
random
like,
people.
you know, system by system basis on a base by base basis. Because let's say someone really wants to play Fatal Frame, they'd have to like buy Fatal Frame. That's going to cost them like 40, $50. They'd have to like get a PS2 if they don't have one working, or like PlayStation could like just release it for like $10 and just be
Possibly.
like,
They could.
and
They easily could.
they'd actually make money off it, continue to make money off it. Because like if you buy something third part, like if I just like I was trying like I have a PS2 work PS2, I don't want to emulate it yet, but I still can't really get my own Emusha like either my own Emusha and Dreams like working past a certain part. So I either buy another copy from someone that doesn't support any of the developers, or I give up and finally emulate it,
Okay.
and that doesn't like help anyone.
It doesn't, but at the same time, that's a bad one to say because that one's not on Sony. It's on Capcom to re-release it, So
But it is like it was still only ever released on PlayStation.
yeah, but that's not up to Sony. They don't own the
I know
rights
it's
to
not up.
Onimusha.
I know it's not. They don't own the rights, but
They literally could
it's
do
not
like a
like
God.
they've ever took any effort to like get rights for stuff.
Yes, because they can't. That's owned by Capcom. Capcom would have to re-release that. It just happened to be a PlayStation exclusive back in the day. Like that literally means nothing. Capcom could release it on everything right now. But that's a different argument,
Capcom
you know.
doesn't even know Onimusha exists,
Yes, they don't, but that's not a Sony
or
thing.
like what did you say, Beautiful Joe, that you
Yeah,
wanted to see back that one
yeah,
episode?
I'd love to see that.
They
So
they
that
don't know it
a lot of
exists.
developers don't want to re-release things, but you know, my whole thing is like the whole point of this was basically to boil down to was basic Xbox versus Sony, blah blah blah. Does that actually matter? Like because Xbox is basically fully backwards compatible for the most part. Almost any game you can relatively think of that isn't some crazy niche
That
bullshit
isn't like
title,
LucasArts or
yeah,
something like that.
you can play on it. Whereas in Sony, there's only a handful. But my argument is, for me personally, their handful of classics, for the most part, are all the ones anyone cares about. When you think back to PlayStation 2, it's oh, I want to play the original God of Wars. You can play them. You want to play Jack and Daxter and the Ratchet and Clanks. They're mostly available. Now, are they easily available? No, because a lot of those are through the PlayStation Now, which I hear has gotten a lot better. I've never messed with the old version to be able to. I've never messed with it, period, because as I said, for me personally, I don't fucking care about old ass games. If I really care, I am that guy, like you just said. I own a PS2. If I really, really, really need to play original 2002 Ratchet and Clank, I'll go to fucking eBay, spend the 15, $20, have it shipped to me, and I'll hook up my PS2 and play it. But there are a lot of people who aren't like me who don't want to do that, and I do wish it was a bit easier for them. But my argument in the grand scheme of thing is that is 1,000 to 1 person. For every one person who
Yeah.
wants to go back and play all these old games, there are literally at least 1,000 more people who don't fucking care and just want their next Call of Duty. They want to play their Apexes. They want to play whatever sports version. I just say Madden because you know it's the big name, even though technically FIFA's the biggest one in the world. So you know,
Okay, so let's get out of the view of like Xbox and PlayStation. Like obviously Xbox has like most of the stuff that they do on the rights to. Not everything they own the rights to. That's like there. They have most of it. And PlayStation has like some of the really, and PlayStation has just like the biggest hits.
yeah, they're
But
important
like,
titles.
what about Nintendo, who would own a shit ton that they just sit on and don't touch?
Yeah, basically, if you're not a Mario, Nintendo basically just doesn't fucking care about you. It's really weird.
Like, you know, just like they do these limited releases, like the
It's
original
so
Fire Emblem.
weird.
Like,
The Mario collection that just ended, that they only let out for what was it, a year, maybe less. I actually totally forgot that they were taking it away, and I missed it, and I'm sad about it. I meant to buy it at one point, but you know, life comes up. I had a kid, yada yada yada, and then I was listening to a Games Cast, you know, backlog, and they're like, "Yep, if you don't have your Mario, you have like 2 days to get it." And I looked at the podcast, and it was like a week and a half ago. I was like, "Well, fuck, I guess I don't get Mario." I'm an idiot and didn't pay attention to that, but you know, they should also just be readily available. You're
yeah.
now just
But
siphoning yourself.
Nintendo doesn't have the NBAs and the Call of Duty players they have a shit ton of like cult classic games. Like,
Hmm.
if they just said, like, here's a Nintendo 64 catalog,
They
like, if,
would make a fuck ton of money
yeah,
because one, Nintendo like a lot of games hold up, you know, price wise, but Nintendo games especially. Like my mom's favorite game of all time, my mother was Donkey Kong Country. So when I bought my Super Nintendo for my collection, I was like, you know, if I ever have mom come over and she's sitting with the kids, I want them to have the experience with grandma like I had when I was younger. Where I would, my mom's not a gamer by any means. It's about the only game she ever played with me. Passing the controller back and forth, having fun, Donkey Kong Country. That shit cost me $70 because it was in a box. It's not even the best fucking box, but $70. Crazy for a game that came out in 1990 what 7 6
yeah,
something like that. I mean,
something.
ridiculous. Anyway, but Nintendo's a different beast. Nintendo would make a fuck ton of money if they released their entire back catalog. People would come in droves because they have that legacy, that there's nostalgia there. For the most part, as much as Sony has bangers and things like that, like, you know, your Ratchets, your Sly Coopers,
Yeah,
Uncharted. That's
the thing is for like Sony and Xbox, I guess, a lot of the games they don't have aren't games they own, so they wouldn't really be making money off it. I kind of get that now. But Nintendo is like the one company that has a shit ton of games they actually do own.
hmm and they're really hard to find because they limited the fucking physical releases. Like, it is
And
impossible to find Wind Waker right now.
Nintendo cracked down super hard on emulating
Yeah,
and like fan like versions of stuff. They'll shut that down
in a
real hard.
heartbeat.
Like they copyrighted a picture of Bowser's penis.
Yeah, this is today because I've been wanting to play Wind Waker forever. Like, I get it, they re-released it way back on the fucking Wii. I don't want to hook up a Wii. I don't even like the. I didn't like the Wii. I would very much like to play Wind Waker on my Switch, very very much so. And instead,
One
they
thing
gave
I've
me
like
Skyward
mentioned
Sword.
before is if you play Pokemon, like I've been emulating Pokemon Ultra Sun, and like if you like in Ultra Sun, your character doesn't have like yeah, the Nintendo console they have is a fucking Switch, but you can't play Ultra Sun on Switch. I still think that's stupid.
That is dumb. Well, yeah, Nintendo's a different beast altogether because they own every major property that most people care about from Nintendo. Nintendo is your Nintendo console. They're very rarely, even if Call of Duty was available on a Switch, no one's gonna want to fucking play that shit. Just like, sadly, if you play Doom on that, you would understand why. It is so bad. It isn't even like just a graphical downgrade standpoint. That doesn't bother you. You can go play the old Doom and still have fun. It's bad. It's Nintendo's not made for that. They're made that console, the Nintendo Switch, is made to play Nintendo games. Other things that come
I
to it
will
are
say
kind of a
Rise
blessing,
does run fucking perfectly on it.
but tailor made for it. It's not a multi-release. If I really do believe if Rise came out on the Series and the PS whatevers, and also Switch, I think the Switch would obviously more than likely run the worst because they need to make it run properly and better for the higher consoles. The fact that it's tailor made for the Switch is why it runs so good, which is still an achievement because let's all be honest here, the Nintendo Switch innards are shit. I can't even fucking play Pokemon Online without that thing chugging to high hell and stuttering like constantly. So, more power
Like,
to
I don't
Capcom
know.
for that.
Like with like Nintendo, obviously I won't like get like fucking if they release a 64 bundle, obviously I won't get like Clay Fighter 63 and a half because I don't think that was a Nintendo game. But I could get Yoshi's Story,
Get Yoshi's
and I
Story.
fucking miss
You
Yoshi's
could get
Story.
Pokemon Stadium. You could get Pokemon Stadium 2. You could get fucking Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64. There are plenty of bangers. That's the crazy part about it. They have it.
Speaking of Pokemon, the new Pokemon Snap is out at the end of the month.
It's the same day as Returnal. Comes out Friday. Very excited for that too. I'll be telling you about that because I will be getting it. Not sure if I'll stream it because I'm not sure if I'll be home Friday. But if I am home Friday and I don't have a controller by then, I'll probably be playing new Pokemon Snap because I'm very, very excited. And I absolutely loved the original. Such a good, fun game. Just chill out, zone out, put on some music, and snap some badass pictures of Pokemon. But yeah, that's my big ticket item. Is I don't know how much money Xbox is throwing around for this Game Pass thing, and I'm not sure if Sony believes that it would be
Well,
worth it.
obviously they're making their money back with it, or else I think it would have stopped a while ago.
I don't know. To be honest, I would honestly have to sit here and look up numbers because they never talk about a monetary standpoint. It's all just look at the player base we have. Because I cannot fathom how they're making money off of this.
Well, like
I just
Ultimate Game
can't.
Pass is like for me like 14.99 a month.
Well, there's that, sure, but don't they always constantly have the deal to just have it for $1? Or is that was
Yeah,
that
for
just the
like
beginning?
just like if just for like the first month if you're getting into it, you'd
Okay.
be like here.
I mean, at the same point, I
It's not
still don't
staying
see
away
how.
from And like if you think about it, a lot of it are a bunch of indie games, and while they're like amazing indie games, it's not like they have over 100 AAA games on it. Like
Yeah,
obviously they have a lot more AAA games now that they own fucking Bethesda.
yeah, that I don't like. I just don't get it. once again, I still don't understand how they make money. $15 a pop, even if that's 15 million. You know,
Well, that's
50 million people doing it.
14.99. That's like, let's say 15 for me, who, because I don't have like taxes. That's like more for people. I guess like the taxes don't really go for Microsoft, but people are still like paying like more in like states that have like taxes, so it's
Yeah,
at least
but
worth it.
they're at least getting 14.99. But it's a great deal for the consumer. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's amazing that they can do it.
I think
But
it's a lot better deal than PS Now.
because of how big Microsoft is and the fact that they are a literally $1 trillion company, how much are they just saying fuck it, we'll eat it to get all this goodwill to get people over to our console, period. And then how long before they start upping that because they just spent literally what, $7 billion, right? Wasn't that what they paid for ZeniMax Media?
I don't remember.
Either
It
way,
it
they
might
spent
be the sort of thing they might not even up it. It could be like just a they could it could be a loss for them, but they could still be making so much money that it doesn't matter.
well,
Like
obviously they're making money.
how stores will like have like loss leaders like near the front of the store. Like they'll have like deals to like keep you in there longer. So you see good deals at the front, you want to see like basically like the whole store and
Yeah,
everything. So
I
if you
get
see
that.
all these good deals here, it could just be like a loss leader type of thing
Yeah, and
where
as I
they're
know, companies are not afraid to take losses. Like for the first like 5.5 years of the PS3, Sony was taking a loss on every console they sold, but it eventually caught back up, which I would say is completely fine for that because that's a monetary state. It became cheaper and cheaper to make a PS3, and then they can still sell it at the same price. Whereas they just spent $7 billion to buy ZeniMax, and they're probably going to pump billions more into those studios and companies to make games. How the fuck are they going to make that back on without selling those games as a whole? Like Sony's only afloat
Skyrim.
because they
Skyrim will
sell
just make
actual
all the money
games.
back, like Xbox Series S Skyrim edition.
Yes,
That's
but
7 billion right there.
doubtful. But on a serious note, like I would love to
Don't
see
you
here in a few
underestimate
years.
the power of Skyrim.
I'm over the power of
It
Skyrim.
has a
Skyrim
fridge
needs to die.
edition.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck that. I'm so tired of Skyrim. But honestly, I want to see in a few years where they stand. I hope it works out and they make money. I just don't see how it's sustainable. They keep buying
I want to see
studios
what
and they're
games
putting
come out of it.
millions and millions of dollars into and then basically giving it away for peanuts. I mean, because it also there's the standard. I think they're taking a loss now, but the more it
Also,
rolls
on the
out
Game
onto
Pass,
everything,
like games rotate. So if you really like a game and it's getting rotated out, you get like a little bit off that game if you want
and
to
you do
keep
have
it.
to buy
So
it. I always forget they do
yeah.
rotate them off. So if you're playing a game that continues or it rotates before you can beat it, you can go buy it, and then you buy it on the Xbox.
For like it's kind you get a little bit off if you have the Game
That
Pass.
makes sense. I mean, I definitely get it, and I was going to say they also the more they roll it onto other things, you get even more people once they get this whole iOS workaround. Um, that'll
And they
bring
got
in
even more
millions of
like
people.
there's the Game Pass for PC where there's like more games and like a market on PC because
Yeah,
Microsoft like we're talking about Microsoft on the Xbox. They're also making a lot of money on like PC.
yeah. Hopefully they stop fucking around because the PC fan base is actually mad at them right
I
now.
know no one like talks about it. They're probably like what I don't want to say the third biggest PC store because like you got Steam and Epic, and there's also like shit like GOG and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say it's like small.
Yeah, yeah, by no means. But I really hope the Game Pass gets a lot better for the PC players because people are real mad. A lot of the games that are available on the series are not available on PC, and that upset a lot of people. Like when they said Outriders Day One Game Pass, everyone got all excited. That's Xbox Game Pass, not PC Game Pass. If you have if you have Game Pass on PC, you can't play Outriders for free, quote unquote.
Here's the thing, like a lot of people got mad at like some Steam games because they reviewed bumps in Steam games because the versions on like the Xbox are like more patched versions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think like that's mostly like a Square Enix problem, but that's a nice little thing for Xbox to have better versions of games people want to play.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it goes back to the how much you care about exclusives too. Like it all rolls up in the same concept of like PC versus PlayStation. It's like Xbox is for the gamers. Look at all the great deals they're giving, but at the same token, PlayStation 5 is still outselling Xbox for right now. So how much does it really matter? And Sony hasn't had any exclusives, and
You know what? I
Xbox is
do
still
think
years
it's
away from
overall
exclusives.
it was
So
outselling Xbox, but I still think it was neat that Xbox was outselling the PS5 in Japan.
it was. It is no longer. It was literally
Yeah.
outselling it for like 2 days. The PS5 is crushing it
That's still like
everywhere.
huge.
Yeah, it is. But I actually read that another article attached to that. It outsold it because there was more available, and people just wanted a new console. They literally just couldn't get their hands on PS5, so they said, "Fuck it, I'll get an Xbox." It's crazy.
That's a good problem to have.
And it's a good problem to have and terrible because it's still happening all over the world. But
Uh,
I'm not trying to. As I said, I'm not also sitting here trying to shit on Xbox. I think their plan is fantastic. It is great for the consumer who wants it. You're getting a fuck ton of good games, and hopefully you'll be getting a fuck ton of good exclusives down the pipeline. It's just we'll have to see. I have no faith in the Halo, so don't get your
I
hopes up for
I've
that.
mentioned this. I mentioned this in a podcast that now isn't there because it didn't have my audio. But I've never been like a fanboy of either consoles in like a way because I like the PS4, but the reason it took me so long to get one is PS4 and really never had any exclusives that seemed interested me. Anything I could get in PlayStation or that I wanted, I could get on my Xbox and it would run better. And my Xbox still runs stuff better. Like Nier on my Xbox is a lot better than Nier on my PlayStation.
I can't quote on that because I am the absolute reverse of you. I never got an Xbox because they had nothing I cared about, and everything that came on there I could play on my PlayStation. So literally the reverse of you. And then when I did get it, is because of like 2, 3 games, and literally all of them either got straight up canceled or delayed. I've talked about this many times. I got it for what was the name of the game? The Dragon game by
Yeah.
Platinum. Got canceled literally 3 days after I bought it, and I also like Gears, so I got it for Gears, and that it got canceled.
The only consoles I have that has stuff that I can't play anywhere else is my fucking Oculus and my Switch. Those are the only two that like really stand out.
For you personally, but you're also on
I
the
guess like I
minority
also have
on
my
that.
PC and there's stuff like that. I know I'm a minority because like I was
You don't
never
like
interested by stuff like
Uncharted
Last
and
of
Last of
Us.
Us and
Yeah.
God of War, like they're not your cup of tea, which I completely understand, and
I
that's
did
the
like
case
God of
for a
War
lot of
2.
people.
Like I had that on PS2. God of War 2 was fun, but I'm not interested enough to be like, yeah, I wanted the PS3 to play God of War 3
Yeah,
or
there was a lot of people like you. You look how many millions fucking of Xboxes got sold on Halos back. I didn't buy one because I wasn't a Halo kid. Completely fine. I understand. I'm in the minority of
it's
that.
even worse.
Halo
I
2 is like
wasn't
the
a
best.
Halo kid. I wanted an Xbox for Fable.
Same concept. I got an Xbox for Fable. An original Xbox, I played the fuck out of
Yeah.
Fable. Never owned Halo, but I played the fuck out of Fable. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember when Fable out. I like remember when like I don't have a lot of memories, but I remember it being 2006 being like really young. Like just like playing Fable 2 for the first time. That's like one of the memories I really have. Like I don't remember a lot of stuff, but like that's one of the like the
excuse me.
I only have three memories from like 2006. My older brother dying, playing Fable 2 for the first time, and then finishing Fable 2 for the first time. So
Very well. So,
so that's like the kind of things that really just stay in your memory. Like Fable 2 was really important to me. Like that shit was special. So
yep. You can that's the great part of Xbox. Like you have that legacy. You can go fucking play Fable 2 right now if you have
yeah,
the
it's on the Game
disc.
Pass.
Or is it just straight up on Game Pass now?
It's on Game Pass, so it's like Fable Lost Chapter, not the Lost Chapter, like Fable, the fucking the remaster they did, which was really fun. Then like two and three. And I
That's
think,
fantastic. That's awesome. See, that's great for them. And they have a lot of their back catalog, but and they're also spending a lot of money to get those third parties in here and or
and I
whatnot.
really can't wait not to like Fable 4 when it comes out. I know. I think like Fable now, like Fable 3 came out was like 2010 or something. I think I might just probably be like too, unless they change it a bit. Like obviously I think the first Fable holds up pretty well, but like I think I might be a little bit too old for Fable at this point, despite it being an R-rated game series.
And we'll definitely have to see. Um,
I am really looking for the next Stalker game though, which I'm surprised that's an Xbox exclusive.
I'm not. They're shelling out a lot of money. I mean, they have to.
I just hope like that comes to a point where they're like, yeah, let's take the three Stalker games that was on PC only, and then like and and then put them on Xbox and hold them together with like Gorilla Glue instead of the fucking Scotch, like the fucking Elmer's school like fucking stick glue that they're held together with on PC. I mentioned this before, and this is way off topic, but like the fucking Stalker Shadow Chernobyl playing that shit on PC, if I eat food out of like a dead body's inventory, it crashes the fucking game, and I think it's fucking hilarious. That game is fucking. That game is literally the video game equivalent to like a fucking shitty Russian AK.
That's terrible. Terrible. Fix your games, people. I mean, it's also ancient, so I doubt it'll ever get fixed. But unless you just said they just straight buy that studio, fix them all up, and throw them on Game Pass, which Xbox just seems to be doing. So I hope it works out for them. I hope they keep turning out. I hope they keep making great deals for people. But on the same token, I hope they don't fuck people over
Yeah.
when they do release these big title games that everyone's holding on to Game Pass for real. Like, it's terrible to say this and hard to say it because you can honestly say the same thing about PlayStation at the moment. Game Pass is just a bandage right now for the fact that they have nothing else to play on their Xbox. You know, same. You know, we're playing Call of Duty and Smite. If I had an Xbox, I'd be playing Call of Duty and Smite. You know, I am waiting for Returnal and Ratchet and Clank. It's just, knock on wood, I hope they don't get fucked because Sony's track record for putting out things that their exclusives is fucking fantastic. Their worst, most controversial game that they put out in the last 5 years is Last of Us Part Two, which is still a critical darling and scored fucking nines and tens from every outlet and won Game of the Year from everywhere and yada 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 yada.
I mean,
Xbox's
definitely
last
controversial,
exclusive.
but you put like worse in there. I wouldn't say it's the worst. They do have a lot of bad exclusives
Oh, true. I mean their
though.
main. It's
Fans
you can't
act
say
like
it.
it's like I wouldn't even say fans. People act like it's the worst game ever made, but they
Yeah, yeah.
haven't played Yeek, a modern RPG, or what is
Yes.
postmodern RPG, where the fuck the Y2K or Yeek or where the fuck it's called. Literally the worst game of all time.
Yeast.
Yeek, Yiik. I think it's Yeek, a postmodern RPG. It was made by some fucking weirdo who self-inserted himself as the main character, and then you obsess over girl suicide the entire game, and then all your friends die, and it's your fault, and he beats himself up, and it's
Never heard
just
of it.
really bad. It's really
But I
bad.
mean in
It's
general, like when
probably
you
the
talk
worst
about
game ever made.
their main line push push push, you have to play this game. Like yeah, they did Destruction All Stars, which was just okay. Spider-Man Miles Morales, huge hit. Spider-Man, huge hit. Horizon, huge hit. God of War, fantastic game. Last of Us 2, fantastic game. Uncharted 4, fantastic game. Last Ratchet and Clank, critical darling. Like, yes, they put out other mediocre things, but the main line, you have to play this game this year. Let me rephrase. Let me put it in better spectacle. In the last five, I can, I almost want to say last 10 years, when's the last time a Xbox exclusive was even well, I'll say it. When's the last time Xbox won a game of the year?
I think Sunset Overdrive deserved to win stuff.
It deserved to
That
win things,
game.
but it wasn't game of the year that year.
What
And the bad
what
part is,
year
it's
did
not even an Xbox. It's an Xbox exclusive, but it was made by technically a Sony company. That's the first and
Uh,
only game Insomniac, well, to my knowledge, ever made for the Xbox. And it's one of their best games, a Sony company. The people who make Ratchet and Clank came over and made real life
let's
Ratchet and
see.
Clank for Xbox, and it was a huge hit, and then went back to made Sony games and now are owned by Sony. But that's crazy. One of the best Xbox last year's game or last generation games was made basically by the Ratchet and Clank people.
Let's see what else was 2014. That was Titanfall, Destiny, Mario Kart 8, Dragon Age Inquisition, Dark Souls 2, Middle Earth, Bayonetta 2,
Yeah, it wasn't winning the game of the year. Well, it did win. I want to
Diablo
say.
3, Reaper of Souls.
Yeah, didn't I think Dragon Age took it that year.
Just Dragon Age didn't deserve to take it.
Over Sunset, I would. I really liked Inquisition. Story for another time. My whole
Inqu
point
I
is,
think
go ahead.
Inquisition's like the worst Dragon Age.
It was the only one I've ever played because I didn't care about it. Didn't really want to play any other ones. Now I kind of wish they would go remaster those so I could because I really did very much enjoy Inquisition. If you say it's the worst one, now I'm kind of sad that I didn't play the others. But I digress and go all the way back.
I mean, people probably say 2 is the worst one because they reused a bunch of areas, but that's because they got put on like a time limit by EA.
As
They
usual.
didn't even have like a year, I don't think, for Dragon Age 2, so
Really? Wow.
yeah.
That's super crunch. Anyway, my whole point is I wish the best for Xbox and I really hope Perfect Dark comes out and it's really good. I really, really if Halo comes out and bombs, I don't know if Xbox could
I
survive
almost
it.
want Infinite to fail at this point
I
because I
don't think
think
Xbox
Halo
can
should have
survive it.
stopped like forever ago.
So do
I
I. I
think
think they
this
should
is
make
fine.
something else, but they refuse to let it die. And Halo's been limping on since what, 4? Like 4 is like its start of the
I think
decline.
whatever happens, it'll make its money back, but it
More
does.
than
I don't think it'll
likely.
be good. I don't expect it to be good.
As I said, I knock and hope and pray on wood that the Xbox fans get what they want, and if it's good, hell, I'll play it. I even said I'm not a big Halo fan, but if it comes out and it's like the originals, because I've played most of them, like I enjoyed 1 and 2, and I played most of 3. It's just, I wasn't like, oh my god, about the multiplayer. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed playing through them, and by the time they were available on Xbox One, like 4 and Reach were out or whatever it was, and I stopped caring, you know. And I also heard that they didn't play as well, and they were getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'm just like, I really hope Infinite's everything everyone wants it to be, and I hope you enjoy it. And please, down in the comments, let us know if
I
does
mean, there's a
average Bad
lot
really
of
care to you.
fucking like, there's a lot of exclusives Xbox. Like,
But what
there's
are
a lot
they?
of exclusives coming.
Oh,
Like,
coming, yes, for sure. Yeah,
yeah, in
Hellblade
2021. There's a
seems.
huge fucking list here for 2021.
We'll see if any of them make it. It's same as Sony. Outside of Ratchet and Clank coming, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I don't know if Horizon will make it this year, and I retract what I said way back in the day. I didn't think COVID was fucking shit up as much as it apparently still is. I don't think God of War makes it this year for sure
So
now.
I actually have a question for you.
Hmm.
Does so like I agree with it. I like does Horizon being on PC, like first Horizon being on PC, does that mean it's not exclusive anymore? Because I got an argument with it before, but I still think still makes it exclusive. I don't think PC really counts anymore.
I mean, technically, I agree and disagree with you. It doesn't make that game exclusive to PlayStation anymore. That's my argument against the Xbox. Well, you technically have
Because
no exclusives. I can get it
I
on my
originally
PC.
argued against it, but like I was arguing that was an exclusive in general. But like I was arguing with people who the argument got really bad because like I was arguing that it wasn't exclusive because on PC they were arguing that it's still console exclusive, and
So
we were arguing the same thing.
you weren't. You were arguing two different points, but it still stands the fact that you were both right. It is technically no longer an exclusive, except in the sense that it is a console exclusive. But it doesn't matter because it's so old, and Sony literally was like, "Hey, this is one of our better games that we guarantee is getting a sequel." And just like everyone was like, oh, does that mean Horizon 2 is going to be on PC? No, you silly fools. They just reeled you in, gave you the taste, and you're like, ooh, shit, this is a great game. I want to see where her story is. Well, guess what now, you silly bastards? You have to go buy a PS5. Well, no, you don't. You have to at least go buy a PlayStation console to play it, because that is one of the last ones that will also be on PS4. So, but if you didn't own a PS4 and you only played it on PC, well, guess what? You want to play the sequel and play even better, respectively, hopefully better version of that game, which was a fantastic game. Well, you now have to go buy a PlayStation, either 4 or 5. It's a great thought process. I wish they'd do it for all. I mean, I don't wish. I don't give a shit what they do. If they were smart, they would do it for all the games that are old and that they're going to make sequels for. Like, release Ratchet and Clank, the 2016 version on the PC. Oh, fuck, this is a great game. I can't wait to see what they do next. Well, now you actually have to go buy a PS5 because it is a PS5 exclusive. It is not coming to PS4. But at the same token, maybe they don't want to do that because they can't fucking ship PS5s worth a damn, and they're instantly getting sold out. And the only way you can really buy one is either be really, really lucky or shit out a bunch of money you don't want to shit out to get one from a scalper. But I digress. Like, the whole point of this whole thing was we're rolling all the way back again. Was, do exclusives matter? And to me, personally, no. In the great grand scheme of things, I also believe it doesn't. Or the PS4 wouldn't be the second best selling console of all time, and the PS5 is tracking to be
That's
the
why
fastest
I
selling
said I
console of all
guess
time.
I'll my endpoint is like I guess for like Xbox and PlayStation it really doesn't matter. They probably don't really have that much to gain off it, but I do think it would matter for Nintendo. Nintendo has a
100%
lot
agree.
to gain.
100% agree. I would go. I honestly, at this point, I would give them $100 easy right now if they said I could play fucking Wind Waker on my Switch. I absolutely adore that game. One of my favorite games of all time. And I just, unless I go and spend the literal $80 to get a GameCube version or hook up a Wii, like I'm shit out of luck right now. And that's a really bad thing when
I
we
think
live in
Nintendo
2021 and you
could
can
have
download
made
anything.
millions just by supporting the competitive Melee scene, like
Oh my god.
just Melee.
We don't even have to go into that. That's just absurd. The fact that you still can't play Melee on anything but a GameCube is disgusting. So, that is, excuse me, that I got a text.
Yeah.
The fact that you can't play Melee boggles my mind. And every time anyone ever attempts to make it, like, just what, earlier this year? Didn't they just shut down the people who were doing the online tournament? They found a
Yeah.
workaround. Bro, you cannot make money off of Melee because you refuse to re-release Melee. Just let the people play the game they want. And the bad part is, Ultimate sold and is still selling. It's a fantastic game. It's just not Melee. It's the closest we've gotten to it, but it's the original, not the original, but Melee
Ultimate is
is the
good because it's
perfect
not Brawl, but Melee is Melee.
because it's fucking Melee. And the bad part is they know if they re-release Melee, that Ultimate would just die. And that's a
I don't
testament to
even
how
think
good it is,
yeah.
but also a testament to then just, well, then why don't you just make a better Smash? Ultimate is fantastic. It's, as I just said, the closest thing we've gotten to it, and it's a good game, and everyone's loving it and having fun. But it's still crazy that more often than not, you hear people just say, well, just add new characters to Melee. Just re-release Melee and give us these characters. We want fucking Melee. Just give it to us. There are so many games they could do. It really is. Just, they could release their entire fucking back catalog just in waves. Just do the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, they have the...
Yeah.
That's the thing, I guess. Maybe we're
Despite
waiting to
me
get to that.
emulating them all and beating them, I would like buy Fire Emblem Awakening
Oh my god.
and the Conquest and
If
stuff or
I could
whatever,
get the original
and
ones...
Revelation and like Pokemon Ultra Sun, I'd buy those all on Switch.
I'd buy Ultra Sun on Switch. I never played it on the DS. I played Sun and just assumed I didn't need to. Missed a whole bunch of it. That was a really dope
Yeah.
game. And
Like
I'd
despite
loved all the
beating
old Fire
and
Emblem
like
games.
emulating them. Yeah.
I'd kill to be
Like I
able to play
remember
them.
you showed me. the when you showed me the pixel like critical animations, like that shit was really cool.
It's so, oh my
Like
god, I'd love to
Sony
love that.
doesn't Sony would have to like work with like big companies and then they'd probably get the shit end of the stick. Microsoft gets the stuff on their Game Pass that they think people like,
People want,
big,
and they also have the money
but
to shell
there's
around with it. You know.
yeah. There's and like Microsoft doesn't have everything. Microsoft is, doing, and I think Microsoft is doing enough, and they're slating more. So I think Microsoft is a good point.
Yeah.
Sony doesn't really have a lot to gain off it at the moment,
Yeah.
and they said PS3 would be too hard.
Yeah, the dumb cell processing. That's the crazy
But
part. No
could be
excuse.
Nintendo could be making billions,
It's
I think.
ridiculous. They're all playing a different ball game. So like to seriously sit here and like try to put them against each other is too hard because they're all Sony and Nintendo are almost playing the same ball game, kind of. But between
Nintendo's
those
just
two,
meaner.
yeah, and Xbox, like
Sony
they're
doesn't. Sony doesn't. Sony won't like re-release stuff, but they don't like. They haven't shut down every single emulator and emulation thing
yeah,
like Nintendo does. Nintendo. You know how fucking hard it is to get a reliable fucking Pokemon emulation? That's
it's
like
really hard.
50/50 virus.
Just eats your computer.
Yeah, but like I can get any game on for like a game that's like PlayStation exclusive, just like emulated fine. Any PSP thing,
Yeah,
like easy as fuck.
because they don't care if they're not they're that type of mindset. They're playing the same ball game except to their is that they don't care. Like if we're
They're
not gonna
they're at least
re-release it,
kind of nice.
yeah, if we're
Or
not
at
gonna
least
re-release it
they're
and
not
make
kind of
money,
nice. They're just not mean.
yeah, then you can have it. We don't give a fuck how you get it. If you're buying an old PS2 and the game, we're not making any money. If you're just getting it on your PC some way, we're still not making any money. So just do whatever the fuck you want. But hey, if we release it on our current consoles, you better not fucking pirate it. You better come buy it, you little shits. That's their stance. Like, if it's available, you buy it here. If it's not, we don't really give a shit what you do. And Xbox is like, come here. We're trying to. We got everything. If we don't got it, let us know. We'll try to get it. You don't like it, we'll get rid of it and give you something new. You like it? They need it. They need that good fervor. They really do. They're in the hole. They're still selling well, obviously. Like the Xbox One didn't sell crap. It's just not a PS4, but it still sold well. But now they're trying to
What's
get people into the door.
you know what the thing is? Every Xbox sells fucking amazing, and I think that's a testament just like how out of this world the PlayStation sells.
Yeah,
Like fucking Xbox sells enough to make Microsoft huge amounts of money, and like everyone's like, "Oh, the Xbox doesn't sell well." It because it didn't sell well in comparison, but they don't mention how
it just sold extremely well
outstanding its
anyway.
sales
Yeah,
actually is. Yeah,
if you want to sit at numbers here, like you compare them, like oh yeah, they got shit on, but it's still. I think they're sitting at like 85 million consoles sold. That's crazy. That's a lot of fucking hardware. But then you look at, it's 120 something or 130 million something PS4s. Yeah, they got shit on, but it's not like they got fucking dog stomped. It's not 13 million Wii U's. You know what I'm saying? Like that's bad. That 13 million isn't even the state like any single regular state in the United States. Like fuck, I think Rhode Island, our smallest state, has more than that.
there's more Wii U's than people in Montana.
There you go. There you go. You outsold Montana, Nintendo, with your Wii U. If that tells you
That's
anything.
because Montana is all fucking mountains.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's probably more mountains than fucking people here.
Yeah. Well, the point still stands. Is the Xbox sold fine. Did they do Sony numbers? No. They also don't fucking have to because people also forget that Sony puts so much stock into their games because that is their main thing. I didn't even know this until recently. Like they have their movie studios and they have rights for this, that, and the third, but their main money source is gaming, so they have to put everything in the forefront there. Like we need to make money because this is how we make money. Whereas in people tend to forget that Xbox can just literally shit out $7 billion to buy
Microsoft is like
companies.
fucking Windows. Like,
It's everything. It's
yeah.
Microsoft. It's $1 trillion company. To put that into perspective, right? Let me just do this real quick. When they bought ZeniMax Media, they bought 10% of Sony's entire portfolio. Sony is only worth $70 million. I'm sorry, $70 billion. So to make a purchase like that, Sony is taking a huge risk. If they were to go say to Konami and spend $3 billion, that's a lot for them. Whereas in that is literally a drop in the bucket for Microsoft.
You think the only reason Microsoft wouldn't be able to buy Sony is it makes it a monopoly, and monopolies are illegal?
That and you know, trading and yada yada, publicly owned, people owning these many shares. I don't know the legality of it, but yes, in a heartbeat, if Microsoft really wanted to, if there was a legal way to do it, they could eat Sony all day, any day, and not even blink an eye. They're a $1 trillion company. They're
Like,
one
well,
of
I'm starting
only
to worry
four
that like
trillion
Sony
dollar
uses
companies.
like what Microsoft made. In a way, I think we were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Like Sony computers will have like Windows and shit like that, or
Oh yeah,
I
well,
don't.
just because they run Windows, but you can run Linux off it too. But the innards are AMD, all that jazz. But yeah, they run Microsoft. But
I
just
think I
like
saw a
it's funny.
Linux mod where you where if you type any command wrong, it deletes your entire hard drive.
Oh, that's terrible. But yeah, it's a crazy world. Sony makes computers, uses Microsoft. There's technically a Sony studio, PlayStation Studio game on an Xbox. Gotta think about that. MLB The Show this year came out on Xbox, and the
I
Sony
think that's
PlayStation
smart
logo
by like MLB.
pulls up.
That's like going
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
for sure, for sure. I have no qualms. I know Sony ate fucking dirt for that one. They hate it and it's killing them, but they still are making a
At
fuck
least
ton of
more
money
people
off of
get
it.
to enjoy baseball, I guess.
Yeah, you're not the only person I heard say that it's the best gaming sim or sports sim out there. So then a lot of and this is Xbox's literal first time being
I
able to
don't
play it.
like
So
sports unless it's MMA. I played MLB The Show 19 and I had fun.
very well. I've even been concerned. I've been hearing so many good things of it. My son plays baseball like in real life, and it's getting more and more interesting. I'm getting more and more interested in baseball, but we'll see. That's a whole nother ball of wax. That was our topic. I said
Yeah.
it a little bit earlier, and I'll reiterate it again. Do exclusives matter to you in any way? Old or not exclusives? I'm sorry. We started talking about exclusives. Does backwards compatibility mean anything to you? And then caveat on that: do exclusives matter to you? Or are you in it just for the hardware? Are you just a legacy person? Like, did you buy a? Are you going to and or did buy a PS5 just because you had a PS4
I
and
will
or
say
Xbox the
exclusives.
Series?
I will say there are exclusives I found out about after buying a PlayStation I never even knew about, like the fucking Akiba's Trip Undead and Undressed. That like that's not like a huge game, but it was like an exclusive.
For a while.
So like I guess in
Excuse
a
me.
way stuff like that, there's like some exclusives out there that are fucking great, but like with like the backwards compatibility, like in the long run, the only company that could benefit off it is really Nintendo. So
Yeah, but Game Pass is working and it has a
Nintendo,
lot of active users.
Nintendo, Nintendo's just looking ahead.
Hopefully, fuck looking ahead. I just give us games, Nintendo, please, please.
At least if you're gonna give a shit, don't make it fucking limited.
I just I don't give a fuck about anything else. Just give me Wind Waker, you bastards. I almost wanted to cut the video right there and just end it on give me Wind Waker, you bastards. But yes, please hit us up and down in the comments. Let us know how you feel about any of the topics we discussed today. Is there something you wish Sony would release that they haven't that I forget about? Like they just released Medieval. They're giving us. I'm pretty sure you can go get the Ratchet and Clanks and your Jack and Dexters and all that jazz to play. Um, but I know a lot of people like a lot of other things that aren't coming. So I mean, like me personally, I'd be screaming at the rooftops to give me fucking Nocturne back if they haven't already announced that I'm getting it. So I know there are plenty of other games like that that people cherish and love that haven't come or aren't coming or won't come, or you can only get them in PS Now, and I hear that's still somewhat of a mess. Better, but a mess. Just let us know. And if you have any ideas or anything else you'd like us to talk about, please leave those in comments too. Maybe we can get to them. As always, I'm Dad of War, and you can reach me here on YouTube at YouTube/Dad of War and or search War Table Podcast. You can also find us on all audio things you can possibly think of for podcasts, except for Google Play. You can You can see what I like to say randomly on Twitter every once in a great while at twitter.com or just at Dad of War. You know, all of this with the caveat of the O of is actually a zero, so it's DAD0FWAR. If you want to play games with me, I'm primarily and usually only am on my current console right now, which is a PS5. Same concept, just send a friend request to Dad of War hyphen, because of course Dad of War was already taken. And Kawhi, any updates on any of your social media?
No.
You can find him at twitch.tv/KawaiBoyGirl when and if he chooses to start streaming. And if you do see him online, you should watch him. It's a pretty good time. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you next one. Bye. Deuces.